Okay, so everyone's talking about this n8n website that allows you to make automations in a kind of a node-based drag and drop environment. It's supposedly one of the hottest things cooking out there right now. So I'm going to show you today how to set this up for free. So we're going to go ahead and go over to railway.com and say deploy a new project. I'm going to say deploy a template. It's going to propagate that. And the first one in the list, of course, is n8n, the most popular, that's why. Let me go ahead and click on that. It wants me to sign in, so I'm going to go ahead and continue with GitHub, which is the code repository website, one of them, one of the top ones out there. Wait for that to catch up. Accept some terms and conditions, no problem. Okay, don't make any crypto miners or illegal stuff, great. Scroll down and deploy it. Okay, so once you get in, you'll see your 4 nodes here. Click the primary node, and this link right here is to your server. So click on that, and it will take you straight to where your n8n is set up. Okay, so from here, I'm going to head back over to Railway, and I'm going to click on the avatar icon, account settings, click on tokens, click on create new token, give it a name first. Now we're going to take and copy that token and head over to a very useful tool called Smithery AI. And with Smithery, just search for Railway MCP. This page will pop up. Scroll down to cursor. You're going to paste in your API key right there and click generate. You'll receive a piece of code like this. Copy this code, head back over to cursor. Go to terminal. Click this button here if it's not already open, and paste that snippet of code. Click enter. It's going to ask you to restart cursor. Click yes. We'll just jump back over to our terminal window. Reactivate cursor. Now we can see that one command added in the appropriate syntax to our mcp.json file. If we close this out, we'll see, as I've already clicked on the gear icon, clicked on Tools and Integrations, that the Railway server is installed. It's going through and refreshing. That's why it's still orange there, or yellow. Now it's green. Okay, click on that. You can see the tools that are available. Now, the first time I did this, Cursor automatically detected the need to install this. Of course, when I'm doing a video, it fails to do so. So let's enter in this little snippet of code right here. Click enter. Okay, so when I first ran this process, Cursor did this automatically. In some cases, apparently it does not. So we should put that in here. You want to enter in railway space login into the command line. Simply that. It's going to ask you open a browser. Say yes, hit enter. Success. We can use this page. I'll close that window. Okay, so in some cases, Cursor will do this automatically, in some it will not. So we'll go through the steps here if it wants to be stubborn. I told it to use the railway link command, and as you can see, it gives the option to select a project. Now we only have one project open, the one we created, so we'll hit enter. That's going to ask us a series of questions, or a question with a series of answers, should I say, a multiple choice question. We're going to click on primary. I'm going to hit the down arrow and click enter to select primary. Now it says linked successfully. So it's asking for specific actions I'd like to take. I say yes, but I wanted to know I can use the railway help command, which, as I said before, sometimes Cursor will automatically pull up. This time it just stumped itself. You know, these AIs can be very unpredictable. That's one reason why I'm using the n8n platform, so it doesn't forget what it's working on after days or weeks of AI coding. Okay, so head back over to n8n and click down here next to your profile. Click settings, go to API keys, click create an API key, give it a name, click save, and then you'll copy your API key. After days or weeks of AI coding. Okay, so we'll come back to Smithery and we'll search for n8n. You'll see a couple of different options here. You can choose one. They both have about the same number of stars and ratings. and scroll down to cursor. Click on cursor, paste your API key there, only once. Okay, now to go back to Railway, in order to get our, then we head over to Railway, and if you forget how to get back to here from the main page, which you reach by clicking on the icon, railway.com/dashboard, click on your project, and click on primary once again, and then copy and paste this URL. And take that back over to Smithery and paste that where it says n8n host, and click connect. So just as before with Railway, we have a snippet of code here. So we're going to copy that code, and we're going to paste that code in the terminal once again. Click enter. It's going to ask to restart again. Restart cursor from the command line. Okay, and as you can see from running that command line alone, the MCP server has been added. The tools are available. Okay, so one quick note here. If you're doing vibe coding, the vast majority of the scripts that the AI IDEs will be using is Python, and the general recognized convention of placing your API keys and other sensitive information is in a .env file. Now, because in this workflow we were only using MCP tools, there were no scripts, Cursor gave me a bit of a hard time with the env file, because you see Cursor can't see env files. So it asked me to give it the password to protect the security of the env file, which is protected so it can't see the password. So ultimately, after going back and forth, I had to generate a simple Python script that will initiate the connection with the n8n API key and endpoint, the URL, and interact with the .env file through the Python script as it usually does. As you can see, it simply calls the variable from the .env file. This is the name of the variable, and it has the actual API keys, etc. in the .env file. So you will need to create a .env file. Simply right-click and say New File. Click on the file and enter in your credentials. It'll be, in this case, n8n underscore API underscore URL =, the URL, and the same goes for the API key. You can actually set these variables to be whatever you want them to be, as long as Cursor knows and the Python script has the corresponding syntax. You can be whatever you want it to be. It's just a variable, but generally it makes them something like that are descriptive of what it actually is. So in this instance, I simply asked Cursor to create a simple Python script that will connect to n8n. It will not issue any commands. It will simply connect using the API key and endpoint containing the .env file, and it will do that. That's. I mean, if you even mention something, it'll start writing Python code. So simply ask it to create a simple script that just connects to n8n using the credentials in the .env file. If you missed that part, and your endpoint, if you missed that, is here. Smithery AI use that to create our code, but this is your endpoint. And the API key is the one we created through n8n directly here, not the one we used originally to activate the Railway through Smithery, but the one that we used to activate n8n is the one that needs to go in the env file in Cursor for the connection. It was not needed except for the MCP connection in Railway. So within your Railway project, delete all the nodes that were in the installation. Within the n8n, you have workflows. This was a blank workflow. Within the workflows, you have your nodes. So I asked Cursor, successfully updated the project to contains a schedule trigger now. So I'm going to say some nodes. Okay. To research with OpenAI. I misspelled that, but it got it nonetheless. And create images with DALL-E and send them to Pinterest and Blue Sky. Spell that right, it'll get it. After a few moments, this appeared in my n8n workspace. So this is successful. We can manipulate these n8n workflows in a free environment you will use credits. It's not free for life, but it's a nice start. So you can manipulate all this through your vibe coding platform, in this case Cursor. Okay, so I've asked Cursor to delete all the nodes that were in that workspace, which it has done, except for the trigger. It left that. It explains itself. It says that it successfully updated the project. Only contains a scheduled trigger now. So I'm going to say, okay, let's add 3 OpenAI completions. Spell that right, and you'll get it. And a DALI node, and a Facebook output, and an Instagram output, please. Okay, so Cursor tells me that the project has been updated, or the workspace rather, has been updated. Let's come back to the 8n8 window, refresh it. That's about as close to real time as I can show you this in this video. So you can see that you can use Cursor AI in a free instance of n8n to automatically generate your workflows. Now this obviously is not production ready. Looks a little bit messy there, but that's a pretty amazing tool, I would say. So again, if you found this video useful, if it helped you overcome some obstacles, certainly appreciate like, share, subscribe. I'll have some more templates that you can download coming up here soon. I'll be launching a platform where you can subscribe and receive pre-made templates. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching and have a good day.